And tell Terry he's next!
What up, though? BMF fans, Lamont Tyson right back at you, giving you my episode 9 Death Trap review. Folks, what can I say other than not my nigga Hoop? Hoop! No, not my nigga Hoop. Folks, St. Louis Henry, and boy, did her ass really look like St. Louis with them gold teeth and that gold gum, looking like she went and robbed a pawn shop, has got to go. She's got to go at all costs. They've got to end her before this season is over with. This is going to be my breakdown for episode 9. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a wonderful episode, and it was written by the big homie Patrick Moss. The review and everything about this episode and what's going to happen in the finale starts right now.
I'm up early for the dealers come out. Everybody is outside till the killers come out. You ain't eating, you just act full. I'm impactful. Dozen funerals in a month. I got that pull. I will give it to niggas in all rap forms. Ignatius out right now on all platforms.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You in the building with the all-knowing, all-loving, all-feeling, all-seeing, all-powerful. Just damn all everything sexy as hell host of this channel. That is me, Lamont Tyson. Please subscribe to this channel. Be sure to download the podcast. I think people forget that I do have a podcast. And then you can also check me out on TikTok. And the important reason to check me out on TikTok is not just because I'm putting up content, but they have e-commerce similar to Amazon, only is way cheaper. And one of the sponsors of that content, one of the sponsors of this video that provided me with some stuff is Headband Bluetooth Headset Metal Retractable Rotating Folding Wireless Headphones, ladies and gentlemen. Sold by Super Shop 006, and you can go right into my TikTok showcase and get them. As you can see, they come in many colors, and what they're really, really good for is maybe a second pair of headphones. If you got little crumb snatchers like I got that love to take your headphones and use them when you don't want them to use them or use them on an airplane, they make great headphones for kids. And if you need another pair of headphones for working out or getting wet with sweat, these are excellent, and they're only $24. You can't beat it. It's a flash sale. Go to my TikTok shop, jump on in there, scroll down till you see these headphones. Go without delay. Let's jump into this video. Each and every show we get a quote from Meech or Terry. This time we got a quote from Big Meech talking about something that they loved as kids. Tony Montana was the shit because he came from nothing but knew what was going on. So I learned what to do and what not to do from him. And then they give a flashback to them as kids, having their hopes and dreams and aspirations based on them watching Tony Montana and the things he did and coming up, and T wanting to go to South Beach. I've already told y'all one of the reasons why I am a Miami Dolphins fan, Miami Heat fan, is because the very first city I ever visited was Miami. I went to try out for the Dolphins and just really enjoyed the city. It was my jam and still is one of my favorite cities to this day. Then we jumped straight into the fellas are in Miami. T pulls up on his brother. And if you followed my trailer breakdown for this episode, you heard me say this. Terry retorts, can't wait to go hit South Beach. Really? How many of y'all wouldn't be surprised if his ass done brought Cougar Draws Markeisha with him, she in a hotel somewhere? And damn sure I was right. Cougar Draws shows up, and by the way, all that plastic and stuff, it looked good now, I can't deny it. But she shows up, and I knew that they would probably bring her because it just adds more drama. Meech don't really care for her. She's driving a wedge between the brothers. She's trying to drive a wedge between anybody that Terry is close to. And I don't see how we're going to be able to trust this character throughout the next seasons and the next episodes because she's too much of a wild card. The fellas go to Club Foxy where they meet McAttack. And they're supposed to be having a meeting here to meet the mechanic. But obviously they can't because the MKs is there And Angel is up there dancing, and her ass looks scared as hell too. She looked back there, see Meech, see the MKs pulling out guns, about to get the fellas. But my question to you all is, if they wanted him this bad, why they ain't just shoot him right there? Obviously, the security is cool with the MKs. Let them bring their guns in. If they so hot to trot, why did they let Meech and Terry walk right out the building unscathed? They could have whipped their ass if they didn't want to kill him and brought him back to Glock. They ain't do nothing but let him walk out the building. And then we see we see T chastising Meech like, yo, you still got something going on with Angel? Did she lead us into a death trap? And Meech is just letting him know, nah, it ain't like that, bro. You got to trust me. I got you, family. I got you. We get back to Detective Jen going over to Coach Bryant's house. And at first, this was a little heated because Bryant revealed to her he took out Tyson, cousin of St. Louis Henry. And she's like, Brian, what the fuck? And Brian just let her know, like, look, you asked for transparency. I'm giving it to you, whether it's hard or not. But the key to this transparency is what Brian did after he killed the body. He dumped the body right around the corner from where T's restaurant is at on purpose to make it look like T did this shit so that the retaliation can happen on T. And Detective Jen, who has a bone to pick in this thing because she wants to get some retribution for her former partner, Kobe, decides, you know what? Why don't we plant a bug on St. Louis Henry and figure out what her next moves are, which eventually becomes a good plan, and we'll talk about that as we get there. T go back to the room, and Markeisha is already tripping. This shit is frustrating to me, man. Like, for real. This character is frustrating, Markeisha, because he's telling her to stay here for safety because of what happened at the club. And she don't want to listen. She thinks she grown. She tends to forget that she got 2 kids at home. And by the way, who's taking care of them 2 kids, y'all? Post your comments, let me know. Boom, boom mama, boom grant, boom daddy. Who taking care of them kids? And she keeps trying to tell Terry that she's grown, she's been in this lifestyle, she had a drug dealing boyfriend, she can handle her own. Well, obviously, she wants to die. Terry needs to let her ass go on out there and die. I guarantee you, she can take more bullets than the average human being because half of her ass is plastic. Most bullets that would hit her would probably just slice right on through and it wouldn't even touch her real meat. It'd be the plastic. Post your comments. Let me know what you think. He needs to just leave her ass home. Meech get a call from Loco basically saying, I got product in Miami. I need you to drive that shit back to Atlanta. And T, in true T fashion, is all worried and shit. And Meech is cool as a cucumber in the refrigerator. Not even worried. Gonna get the shit done one way or the other one. Then we get to the funeral of Shaka. Sounded like he came from the Wakanda nation. And Glock came to this thing and everybody's greeting Glock, but Glock is not there because he want to send his friend off to heaven. He wants to go there and get retribution and revenge. And the people hosting this thing's like, nah, we don't need none of that shit. Glock and all the other fellas like, yep, we're gonna get revenge. And his men tell them that they seen Meech in the club and that he's in Miami. And I was hoping Glock was going to beat the hell out of somebody because they should have handled that business in the club, but they didn't. What the hell? So he tells them, we're going to figure out what the hell is going on. They also see Angel up in there, and obviously Glock don't trust her because he basically said she's to whoever going to pay her the most money. But what he didn't figure is that, maybe her heart is turning from the most money to love. And obviously this girl has a love affair for Meech, but they know to use her and they start following her around trying to figure out where Meech is at. And she ditched them pretty good. The fellas get their first meet with Francois, the Frenchie mechanic, and he's upset with them. He's upset with them because they didn't show up to the club. And, when you're doing illegal practices, not saying that I know, not saying that I've ever been involved in such issues, you got to be careful about people. So one of his main things is be on time and show up. They didn't. And so Terry is trying to take over the meeting, which this was the time he needed to, because he noticed that my man, his work on cars is artwork for him. He's more concerned about his artwork than he is his money. And Terry was able to hone in on that and use it to get them a second meeting, give them a down payment, and they walk out knowing that they're going to get to see the mechanic one more time. Smart play, Terry. And I like how they play these two with each other, because together I love seeing them together, and I hated that we haven't had but one other episode with them together. But this just shows what it's like when we get them together. Charles Flannery has gotten an opportunity to go on the road, play his church music, get free food, get paid, kiss this horrible ass job goodbye. He invites his wife, and the conversation between them two, I think you can expect it to be what it was. Basically, he wants her to come because he's trying to rebuild the marriage. She don't want to go because she don't know what she really want to do other than entertain Reese. And that's how this thing ended. Nikki was like, I can take care of myself at home. The mama was using Nikki as an excuse, and Charles just broke her down. It's like, nah, you want to stay here because you want to go see Dr. Thunder from Down Under. And she was basically telling him, you want to bring me because you're acting like this is something you want to do for me when it's something you want to do for yourself. I feel like they're winding down their relationship, and I'm cool with the way they're doing it. I actually like the way that they're kind of sunsetting this relationship. Jen got on her blonde wig and is up at the underground spot that St. Louis Henry has. And then we see the guy, the very damn cop that fired Bryant and put her on leave. I told y'all that this guy couldn't be trusted, and he can't. Putting his hand on Blaze's back, which lets you know he is under the thumb of Blaze. And while all that is going on, Jen had to, get St. Louis Henry up out of there so she wouldn't blow her cover. And then when she did get her out of there, she got back to the crib. She was able to plant her listening device on the cane. And then guess what? She let St. Louis go down on them Oriental draws. And boy, look at the look on her face. And she was able to ingratiate trust with St. Louis because she took the bandages off her chest that she was trying to pull down and cover up and let her know, look, I'm accepting of your insecurity. And when she done that, we seen St. Louis Jen do something that she's not done to these other women, which was go down on them. And I think this was kind of a sign of respect that she actually really, really cares about Detective Jen after going through all that. Meech gets his meet up with Angel, who had to ride all over the damn whole Miami to get away from Glock and his people. And she let him know that, look, I had to do that for you. I care about you. I want to be with you. And they kissed and made up. And then she hopped on top of her with all that thickness. And I'm assuming they had sex on the beach because, trust me, y'all, there's a plenty of nude beaches in Miami. I mean, it's legal to be nude, some of the beaches in Miami. And I'm going to assume that they wanted to think they had sex because right after that, we seen birds are flying and chirping and all kinds of shit. The only thing we missing was the bees, from the birds and the bees. But I'm thinking that means that some feathers got ruffled right there on the beach. They head straight back to the hotel, and Meech gives Angel a gun, and here we go with Cougar Draw snapping her neck at Terry. You gonna give me a gun? Where my gun at? We got to stay up in here like, chick, take your ass home. Why are you here? You know what your dude doing for a business. You know how he's providing for your lifestyle. Take your complaining, no good ass home. Golly, get rid of her, Terry. Jeez. They go back to the mechanic, explain what the deal is with him. Meech's like, bro, I want you to come to Atlanta with me. Pack up shop. You come with me. We got you. You're not going to have to worry about nothing. And then my nigga Hoot rolls in with a vintage rare Porsche that they just given to the mechanic, showing the mechanic how valuable he really is. And he bit it. He bit that because it's about art and rare things for him. It ain't all about money. And then the whole crew show up, the Atlanta crew and the damn Detroit crew, because they got to go get them drugs. And Meech saying, hell, we sleeping here with the drugs. We ain't going nowhere. We sleeping. Loved this scene, man. Loved it. Dr. Thunder from Down Under done got Lucille at a fine restaurant that is attached to a hotel, and she asked all the right questions. Yo, why you bring me to a restaurant attached to the hotel? And he was honest, y'all. He just told her, look, here, take these keys, baby. I want to get in them panty drawers. Now, I know you probably wearing granny panties because you passed 45, but I don't give a damn if they granny panties. I'm still going to get in them and try to wear them out if you give me a try. Well, she took the keys. They went upstairs, but Lucille done something right for the first time in 3 episodes. Lucille was like, nope, I can't do this. I'm still married. And I'm sure, and I read comments from a lot of women who feel like 2 wrongs make a right. Since Charles cheated, I should cheat. And I'm here to tell you, as someone who has best friends who are professional counselors, that is not the right thing to do. I mean, you can do it, but it's not the right thing to do. And people do things that ain't the right thing to do all the damn time. But ladies, that would not be the right thing to do. Sorry. I know y'all mad that men have historically cheated and all that, but there is a right way and a wrong way to handle a marriage situation. And she handled this right, even though she probably shouldn't have been on the damn date. She didn't cross over and get the nookie. And Dr. Reese sounded like all for one. I swear, I'm going to wait till you're ready to give up the draws. I'm here for you. And then he said he loved her. Folks, this is not love. This is lust. And I guess one could say that is love because he's felt this way with her since high school and they never had a chance to experience each other. But it's not love until you've actually gone through something with someone and they ain't been through nothing. Nikki is getting it on with Church Smart Boy. Thankfully, they ain't had no sex. He asked could he rub on her nipples and she said cool. And then Dad knocked on the door and she had to hide him behind the door. That shit was funny. And then he took her on a date. Me being a parent of a 3-year-old girl, I enjoyed seeing this and I enjoyed the realness of this conversation. She basically got up in daddy ass and said, I'm not going to ever let a man treat me the way you treated your mama. And Charles knows that not only was that the right response to him, but it was the right response coming from his daughter. However, it's easy to say that when you're not in the damn relationship. And she's young as hell. Very, very young. But I thought it was something special he allowed her to say that she has a boyfriend, and instead of catching the attitude, he accepted that she was honest to tell him nothing has happened, and that dude has been helping her with her work. And in the end, they had another bonding moment where they was dancing. So I really enjoyed that. It gave me hope that there is hope that when my daughter becomes a teenager, she can listen. Jeez, because I'm scared of that shit. I ain't even gonna lie, y'all. I'm scared. The mechanic has hooked up these vans. And when I say he hooked them up, folks, he ain't just hook them up. He hooked them up in a manner where in order to find where the drop boxes is at, you got to be a mechanic and take the damn car apart. I mean, my man is putting drugs and lock boxes in the chassis of the car. And the only way you can get into this shit is you got to pump the brake, turn on the windshield wipers, and then turn the key of the car all at the same damn time. Different codes. One of them, you pump the brake, turn on the light, and then put the car in neutral. All kinds of stuff like that. Loved it. Just loved it. Way to go, mechanic. And now the fellas feel like they can take over the whole world now that they done got their mechanic who can hide stuff in a way nobody's going to find it. Oh, Lord. We get the fake-ass Booker T. Remy, who wants to take over Atlanta, but don't know where Meech is at, but now Meech has been found. And he heard Meech is in Miami, about to come back with all the damn drugs. Booker T. Remy is so damn prideful and hard-headed. His man just highlighted that they running out of product. And the only thing this nigga is worried about is Meech ain't from Atlanta. Does anybody say that when something of substance comes to their town that can help them? For example, NBA All-Star Game rotates cities. It's not your team's players always that's on the NBA All-Star Game, but do you say we don't want the All-Star Game and all the money they're going to bring? No. And Remy is just, he can't see the forest from the trees. And we know in the end what happens to Meech, and I'm here to tell you that's who set that shit up. But I still believe Booker T. Remy and Meech are going to wind up being friends, especially when Remy finds out that most likely the death of someone that's going to happen in the end is going to be blamed on Meech. Post your comments. St. Louis Henry walks in to see her man Tyson dead, her cousin, and boy, she was screaming so loud I thought that the gold teeth was going to vibrate right the hell out her mouth. She was not having this, and she got on her daddy and said, I want Terry, because they said where the body was found was near Terry's spot. And dad is like, no, you will not approach him. It was your fault that this happened in the first place. I still think that at the end of the day, Blaze is going to have to handle Henry before she try to handle him. I hope we don't see a situation where the child kills the parent, and it could be that the uncle kills Blaze. Could be. But that would be so stupid for this organization. Blaze has got the damn whole E-Course and Detroit all in his back pocket. So all I see is I don't think St. Louis is going to die. St. Louis Henry is going to die this season. But she's going to have to be dealt with. And I know since she's y'all favorite characters on the show, y'all don't want to see her die. So post your comments. Jen and Coach Cop is in here talking about their grand plan and how they're hoping that Jen and Terry go to war, and whoever's left standing is who they're going to take down for vengeance for Kevin, because Coach Cop still blames this not just on Henry, but also on BMF, and win. I mean, Detective Jen, she still wants vengeance for Kobe. And so they decide that since you can't trust nobody in that police force, they are going to use Kobe's dad to help them do the right thing, because they outside looking in. Smart plan. Very, very smart plan. And I think it's going to work. But I still feel in my heart, y'all, as I was holding my breath every time, every minute Detective Jen was in that room alone with St. Louis Henry, I thought she was going to die. And I like her character, and I hope she doesn't die. But I got a feeling, y'all. Post your comments, let me know. Oh, Lord, I'm so tired of talking about Plastic R Us. Markeisha Cougar Draws Plastic is in here just giving Terry the business about this is supposed to be a vacation. This ain't no business trip, which tells you guys where her mind is at. You don't put vacation over business. That's stupid. He even went down and told her the things that what he's doing is helping to provide the lifestyle that she has. And the city is hot. They got their drugs and they need to go. And her ass want to go walking down South Beach as if we going to shop and shit. Come on, man. This should be a clear sign that Terry let her go. But he done said he's in love. I mean, she pulls him like a yo-yo, strings him along, and he don't want to let it go. Damn, talk about a simp. And I hate using that term with people, but he's simping for this woman. And they was arguing, and she thought that the reason he brought her here is to keep her away from officer phone number Vince. And that's not really why he did it. He brushed out and said, I love you. And she's telling him, even though he don't want to call her out, she's here just because she wanted to fucking fraternize. She is not about her business. She is not about her business. But either way, he sends her on the plane, get your ass up out of here, go be safe, and reminds her, you got 2 boys you need to go home to. Get the hell up out of here. Now, mind you, y'all, she was looking good right here. I ain't gonna front. Plastic or not, it all looked good underneath the flesh. Then we get to this scene, which y'all know I'm gonna have plenty of jokes on people and their aim on TV.
Shit, my purse.
Get out, get out.
So somehow or another, the MKs and Glock figure out Meech is at this fine hotel. Terry, of course, is trying to blame it on Angel, and Angel's the one that's been saving Meech so far. We get into a shootout. They move. And Meech in traditional Meech form, has there been an episode where Meech ain't fighting somebody? And I do like that he got his licks in on Glock, but Glock is a big nigga. If this was a straight up fight, I don't know if Meech could have handled himself in this one. Glock was a big nigga. But he got him down, and somehow, some way, they gets to shooting, and they miss Meech, who's fully up, running out the door. They hit the door. The window break. And then somehow or another, Glock get up on his knees and they shoot him. Come on, TV. Come on, TV. You went from last episode, Glock right-hand man, to Chaka from Wakanda Nation. Somehow or another missed Meech, who had his back turned and hit the bitch in the titty. And it had to be plastic because I think she lived. And you had Meech in your sights this time. You hit the window that Meech is running out of, and then you hit Glock. Boy, I don't know where they go to train to shoot on TV, but if you trying to save your life, don't go wherever they training to shoot at on TV. And Meech got away, but he had to get away and they was chasing him. So they go back to the mechanic spot, tell everybody squad up, get ready to go. I'ma deter the MKs and then I'm gonna hit y'all up at the beach. And that's what they did. Meech went one way, these guys in the back of a pickup truck looking straight like Jamaicans. I used to play a video game where I forgot what the game was, but we used to shoot on the game, and the damn Jamaicans would always be in the back of a pickup truck with fucking MK guns and stuff like that. And that's what happened, and Meech was able to get them away so that everybody could get out with the product. We get to the last kiss goodnight for Charles and Lucille. She tells him she thinks she's in love with Dr. Thunder from Down Under when I know she's not. And he says, I'm gonna go do my thing. And I think this was the proper way to end this relationship. It's gotta stop at this point. And at least they're at a point where they can stop on somewhat of a friendly manner and co-parent their kids and not be at each other's throat. So I hope this is it. I hope they're gonna go and have their separation so she can go and explore that grass on the other side. He can go and do his business and finally get to have somewhat of the things he felt like he didn't have in his life. Go on, Charles. Go ahead, Lucille. Go find y'all's happiness. Terry looked like he's about to become real good friends with Frenchie Francois, but apparently Frenchie Francois parents must have been Jewish, because Terry looks on his arm and he sees one of those Nazi tattoos that they used to give the Jewish people back in the day when they was in them concentration camps. And Francois basically told him it was from his dad and something to remember his dad by. And these two are getting along very well because they bonding on some stuff deeper than money. So I'm liking this kind of connection between these two, and this is probably going to be another reason that Terry will be hanging out in Atlanta a lot, just keeping up with homeboy. Meech and Terry have a talk about Terry finally getting a chance to see the beauty of South Beach and all it entails. And it is beautiful, ladies and gentlemen. If you've never been, I encourage you to go. And then they end with them getting back to the A, getting stopped by the Red Dogs. Now, they mentioned in this episode that the Red Dogs is stopping drugs all over the place. It ain't just Atlanta. They got them in Detroit and everywhere trying to shut down vehicles and getting the drugs. And you got Officer Oriental, and then you got Officer Uncle Tom talking junk to the fellas, telling them they're not going to get their car back. And then you got little Officer break the back brake light, who I thought was actually had a heart after what she did last episode with that family. She up here just busting tail lights. Come on, man. And Meech and T, this is that turning point. T completely believes that they're not going to find nothing in this car because of the way it's set up. And guess who else believe it? Bing, 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 bing. Me and all of y'all. And you hear Meech voicing, it's not going to end like this. We still going to be that thing to be reckoned with. We're not going to let our story end like this. And we know it's not going to end like this because we know another season is coming. So post your comments on how they're going to get their stuff back, and post your comments on if you know who ratted on them. I spoke about them earlier. And I call him Booker T as a nickname, but his real name is something else on the show. So let me know what you guys think. That's going to do it for this video. Don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe, get that life game, download the podcast. And after you download that podcast, go over to my TikTok page, subscribe, but more importantly, jump on into that section that says showcase and buy some of these great deals. The latest and greatest great deal that I got in there right now are these Bluetooth wireless, beautiful headphones that come in like 6 different colors. Great for the kids, great if you need a second pair, great if you just need a new pair. They're only $24 and they boom like no other. And until that next Sexy as Hell video, I'm out.